Hello, Mr. 411. How's it going?
What's up, Zach?
Not
Chilling,
much.
chilling, man, chilling. Off work. You're off work. We just, gonna chop it up, man. It wasn't a scheduled session, but hey, we'll call it a little business meeting. How about that? We'll call it a little business meeting.
Sounds good.
Yeah. So look, if anybody's out there, man, welcome. This is Sports Brothers. The chilling relaxation edition. We just hit each other up, man, because Donovan Mitchell, man, he's back in the sports world talk. And man, we're just gonna chop it up a little bit about Mitchell, man, just see what you think about it. But before we do that, man, everybody, look, man, everyone, we are on. I'm getting really relaxed, Zach.
It's
You know what
okay.
I'm saying?
Ain't
But
nobody gonna
but you,
fuss at you.
yeah, man, they can't. You know what I'm saying? Mr. 411. But no, Blackjack TV. We're on Blackjack TV, Zach. We
Yes,
gotta
we
come up.
are.
We gotta come up with our, little saying with that. It'll work out eventually. But we are on Blackjack TV, so Sports Brothers are thankful for that.
Yes, we are.
We're on another platform, man. Remember when we were just just doing our own recordings, and you remember it took me like 3-4 hours to upload it,
We,
with
we,
all that stuff.
uh, we can go back before recordings, but yes, most
Yeah,
definitely.
yeah.
It,
So look at
it
us
is.
now, man.
It has been a nice ride,
Yes,
and
sir.
coronavirus forced everybody to get better with technology, and make it cheaper too to use. So
Yeah.
great for us.
Great for us, man. And then with that, man, we end up getting signed to a network, man. Well, I think that's our second network. So, hey, the dream is coming true, man.
Well, it's you. They like they like your personality and how you have that
Yeah.
Magic Johnson type quality. Make
Uh,
everybody feel good.
well, speaking of feeling good, we do have a major sponsor, the Patty Platter Boutique. You know, lingerie for all your intimate occasions.
Yes.
Go to IG and check out the @_ panty platter.
I will have
Do
to
that.
make sure to do that.
Yeah, man. You definitely gonna be, put in a good mood, But yeah, guys, girls, go out there and support Panty Platter. Um,
I'm
nice
in a good
quality
mood right
stuff out.
now.
Yep, good
So you
quality.
you you put me in a good mood, or they put me in a good mood with that
Yeah,
advertising.
yes, yeah, we definitely thank them, and who knows, man, we might get a couple of some of the members of that organization on our show one day.
It is possible. It would be
Yep.
great.
Oh yeah. Well, shoot, man, Donovan Mitchell, man. Do you think it'd be great for him to land somewhere else? What you think, Zach?
Well, this is gonna sound bad. At a certain point, it's gonna seem like I'm picking on him. But look, uh, I would love to make, and I'm gonna be kind because I think he's getting more than this. But we'll just go simple math: $30 million a year. So there is not a city in the United States that I wouldn't be happy if I made $30 million a year. And if I was a basketball player, though my preference, would be to be a football player,
Hmm.
to be being paid to play that sport. It's a lot of people that are in Green Bay, Wisconsin with the Packers or whatever, and they seem to be for the most part happy. A lot of players have played in Utah. Uh, to my knowledge, Donovan hasn't really had any crazy issues, and I think coming out of Louisville, he was just happy to go anywhere. But once you're making money like that, ain't it just a little nicer if you're in Los Angeles, California, and maybe if you want to get, and I don't know, you give me anything. I have to be Los Angeles has better sushi than they have in Utah. Maybe better steak than they have in Utah. And now if you start sending me to New York, if I want to go to the theater with my lady and we go watch some play or some opera or whatever, does Utah have a lot of plays and a lot of opera? Maybe I want to go to the beach. Uh, Technology. If I was in San Francisco, I'm in the tech hub. Now we start going to Miami, and that goes back to the beach, or maybe club life, or just enjoying the weather there. My preference, maybe yours too. Good old Atlanta. Uh,
Yeah, definitely.
I don't know, Chicago. Like, we were ranking NBA cities, and it's gonna seem like I'm picking on them, but what is it? 30 NBA teams. Utah might be 32 out of 30, right? They they gonna be down like San Antonio probably ain't the greatest, but I gotta believe people probably want to go to San Antonio over Utah. Um, so I think everybody gets that point. I've hammered that home. So that's just from it, like that has nothing to do with the basketball part. That's just what you get to do in your normal life as far as enjoy everything. So yeah, I think now that he has his money, he might want to go somewhere else and just and just for your personal self when you off, kind of like we are right now, enjoy life. What say you just about that part, Mr. 411?
I mean, yeah, if I had, personally, if I had to make that choice, you know, I want to be in Atlanta first. I can really stretch my dollar, if you will, in Atlanta. So I would, Atlanta. It's it's the Hollywood South. You know what I mean? It's 75, 85 South. You know what I mean? There's a lot of things going on in Atlanta. I wouldn't mind being there, and I'll probably be the king of the hill there versus like New York. But New York would be a great place to play in front of Broadway, Miami, South Beach, L.A., Hollywood. Those would be my places. But yeah, I mean, if I'm Mitchell, we're gonna talk about some of the teams, but Mitchell and South Beach, I think he would really sign up for that. He would say great things to the fans of Utah, like thank you, and
Yes.
he was very supportive of me and all that. And there's no greater fan base than Utah, which is you can argue that because they really do go out and support
Oh,
the
absolutely.
Jazz. Yeah, they thick and thin. You know, Karl Malone, Stockton era, the years, the kind of down years in between that, and then some ups and downs, just like those mountains out there in the area. With the Boozer and Williams connection, and all the other combinations that has gone through there. They've been supportive of that team, all year round. Toronto comes to mind too, but if if Mitchell can get to Miami, I could definitely see him, you know, s- grinning ear to ear down there. So, and that's probably one of the places that we'll talk about. But yeah, to answer your question, Zach, I give you my cities, and
No,
we're gonna go ATL.
well, we country boys. We from the South, so the big
Yeah,
city like New York, maybe Chicago, don't have the same appeal to us that they would have to
yeah.
other individuals. Like
I
I'm
would,
I'm with you. Atlanta and maybe Miami after
yeah,
Atlanta, but
in LA, and it's weather for me. You know what I mean? As far as
yes,
like that
oh,
goes
most
along with
definitely.
that. If it was 70 degrees in the winter
Oh,
in New York City,
I'm not doing snow. If
I
I
wouldn't mind being there.
if I got the if I got the option, oh, we ain't doing snow. We go
Yeah,
visit snow. We don't live in snow.
yeah.
And going back to the Utah fans, the Utah fan base is probably better than the Miami fan base, if we being real,
Yeah,
as
without a
far as
doubt.
that. Like, and
Yeah,
probably better than the Atlanta fan base and some other
definitely.
places. But it's location. It's a reason why. Like, the Lakers are the Lakers, but the Lakers in Minneapolis ain't the same as the Lakers in Los Angeles.
Mm-mm.
Like, it's two totally different things. And
Yep.
I'll from the Utah standpoint, and I know this ain't on the schedule, but I kind of feel like this about Portland. Like, Utah is doing a good job of pulling the plug. I think at some point you have to recognize, and we talk about this. I try to hit upon this, that there's levels to everything with the individuals in the NBA. Some guys can not only help your franchise win championships, but they can win you multiple championships. And all we got to do is start looking at guys where you think of back when we were much younger, but Shaq, Kobe, Duncan, that was probably in our prime. That those guys have handfuls of rings. Then you go, say a Jordan, and even Bird, Magic, though, Bird, like typically if you're really great, they come in bunches. Then you have guys like say a Barkley or Malone, even Chris Paul got on the list now that they are great and they get you to a finals. Some guys get you to a conference finals and so forth. Donovan Mitchell as the best player on your team probably doesn't get you a championship, and it may be time to pull the plug instead of paying him, say, 45, 50, 60 million dollars like the Blazers are doing with Damian Lillard. And you've gotten on Lillard a whole lot saying he hasn't gotten it done, which at ultimately with the goals that you're looking for organization he has. Now I get on him in the sense of there's only so much that can be expected from him because he's a little guy. But if he's going to be paid $60 million a year, I have to believe they paid it to him, not because he looks good, but because they want a championship. But why would you pay him $60 million a year when you probably going to be a second round exit team with him as your best player, especially when he's like 35, 36? That's just so from the Utah standpoint, good for them to say, okay, let's reevaluate this thing and go ahead and do it now.
Yep. Well, before we talk about some of the landing spots, Margarita Man, Brandy and Curtis Lane, 478-273-0787. Check them out. Margarita Man, life of the party right there. They got the machines. All you got to do is let them set it up, and your party is on. It is on.
Well, they need to come through.
That's right. And when we had that Sportz Brothers panty platter invitational.
I'm gonna get fired. I guess we're gonna be like Victoria's Secrets now. We're what do they have? The I forget what the event is they have every year. Is that what we're going into with party or panty platter?
Yeah, man.
We're gonna be co-hosting the event.
Yeah. And Margarita Man is we're gonna have Margarita Man set up, to help set things off, man. But Mitchell, Donovan, Zach, one of the locations, and probably, well, I'm gonna say this, probably the more likely landing spot for him is the New York Knicks, in my opinion. And I think for various reasons. And it's really not because his dad worked in the New York Mets front office, while he was a youngster. And not only that, and his ties to the New York Mets, but just really that the Knicks, they're still looking for that star player or that superstar player, if you will. And Mitchell, he has put up some major numbers. I mean, he's been a 3-time All-Star, as you can see here. He scored a lot of points in the postseason, things like that. So he's really an explosive
greatest player in Utah Jazz history,
according to one person. Yeah. But 50-point playoff games. Look at that list. You're talking about Wilt. You're talking about MJ. And you're talking about Allen Iverson. So that's the list right there for a player with 50-point games, other than playoff now, other than Donovan Mitchell. So Mitchell, it's not like he's chopped liver or nothing like that.
No, great player.
Yeah. So New York would be, I think they would be starving for a player like that to bring in. They just brought in Brunson, as we talked about that on our last show, and the Knicks have some things that are needed. They have a lot of picks. You know what I'm saying? They have picks that they can get out there, and that's what we're hearing that Utah wants, is a lot of picks, more so than the players. So this is a good spot right here. Here's a what if right here, Mitchell, and then the Knicks can send some couple guys over there, with low consequence. But, they'll probably do whatever with these guys. The main thing is they want those picks. And so what do you think about Mitchell playing in at the Garden?
Well, for the Knicks, of course, but like I'm not, and this is what kind of chased me to a degree, that whenever this stuff comes out, the media wants to build up these organizations that haven't done much. Like the Knicks, They haven't done much, and they don't really. I I can't say they missed in the draft, but maybe they have missed in the draft. Like we'd have to go back and look. But now, because couldn't they have drafted Donovan Mitchell? I believe.
Yeah,
So
I mean, more than likely, we have to look at the actual board. But Mitchell, he went late. He didn't
yeah.
go early.
So they've missed on things. They don't really have any great assets. And like unless Donovan Mitchell says the only place I'm gonna go play for is you, I mean the Knicks, I don't think you take that. And then even in that example you show, isn't RJ Barrett like their best prospect? Um,
Pretty much.
so so if he is, he needs to be going to Utah. It, like if Utah is going to do this when they don't have to, they have him under contract. They'll either be in the lottery this year or they'll be better. Then they should try to get back the best prospect they can. As I said about as I said, what the Nets should try and do. So we need to see what the other offers are. But to send him to New York just to help New York out because they've been a bad organization and don't know how to run their stuff, it ain't Utah's job to save them. So right now, without seeing the other things on the board, I would say no to that if I'm Utah.
Yeah, but yeah, I can see that in reference to the players. But if the Jazz want more so picks and clean their slate, and they just want to kind of, hey, for lack of a better word, tank. You know what I mean? Like, why do I even want Barrett back? He might help us get an 8 seed. I don't, or a play-in seed. Was the 9-10 slot. Maybe if they really just want picks as the main thing, then New York might be a spot for that. Whether they want to help them or not, but we'll have to see how that go. I don't. We don't know all the the salary cap implications and loopholes and all that stuff, but I mean, getting those picks would be a good starting point. And I'm like you a little bit on Mitchell. I believe he's a superstar, right? At least a superstar, right at that superstar line. But I don't think he's the guy that's going to carry your team
No.
to the promised land. He could be, maybe he could be the second guy, like the
Yes.
Kyrie to LeBron type situation, because he is an explosive scorer. But you have to look at it now. He is 6'1". He's not as tall as you may think he is. He's about 6'1", and that's being
Little guard.
that's being
And
kind.
little guard. We know
Yeah,
it's hard for a small man in a big man's game to be the best player on a championship team.
and on top of that, he's not what I like to say. The pure point guard. He's not the floor general type guard. So you're asking someone at 6'1" to be your main offensive
Yeah.
weapon. And I think you're putting you're putting your team at a big risk if you're going to bank on that. Now, and then if you look at Brunson, who they signed over there, he's about maybe 6'1" as well. So now you're going to have this miniature backcourt, and they're both kind of, neither one of them are really like floor generals, if you will, to me. And that's going to cause a problem. Now, will it help the Knicks become a playoff team and they be consistent, maybe making the playoffs? Okay, that's one thing. But if you're doing it and you're like, oh, this is going to be the move that gets us over the top, then I don't think that's it. But who knows with the Knicks? They might do it if they can get it done just to make sure they have the box office, because he will be that for them, at
Oh
least
yeah.
that much. Yeah.
They sell out anyway, so he'd be a player, and like you said, it helped them get to the playoffs, first round, maybe probably second round cap. Uh, I know what you're saying about the lottery and wanting picks, but the West is pretty tough. If they
Yeah.
get back a solid player, they probably can still be in the lottery slash play in because they just got rid of Gobert. Also, they're gonna
Yeah,
go
that's true
down.
too. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. That's definitely true. So yeah, look at that. And then on there, if he does go to New York, there's the backcourt, right? Mitchell and Brunson. Then you got Randall, and then Mitchell Robinson is a good big man to have. but you're not going to definitely, with an 8.5 per game average, he's not there for that. He's there to, run the floor, block shots, catch alley oops. But there's still a lot of isolation players on that. If you look
Yeah.
at that lineup right there, so they will be playing a lot of ISO ball. And
Who's the shooter?
yeah, that's the other question: who will be the shooter? And that is not answered with that lineup right there. So they will have to go out and find a lot of fillers for that. But hey, we'll see how that would go. But that's one of the landing spots that's talked about a whole lot is with the Knicks.
And I can see why.
Yeah,
He has a connection to that, but
yeah,
I would, as I said, Utah. There might be better offers out there.
yeah. What about what about Miami? What you think about that?
Well, for Miami, it would be great because I think he probably slides in as the 2 guy. I'm gonna guess, but see, I'm gonna say this once again. What is Miami sending back to Utah? Because if Utah wants to build a package around Tyler Hero, that's great. Look, I'll take it as a Heat fan because you give me, if you're giving me Donovan Mitchell for Hero and Jovic, that's great. He's a prospect. I ain't worried about him or whatever. Doug Robinson, he couldn't hardly find his shot. And then you giving up picks. Okay, you should be making, you better be making the conference finals if you're Miami. You bring him in. But Butler, him, you push Bam now down to a 3.
Yeah,
I guess in that scenario, you keep Kyle Lowry. I still don't like Kyle Lowry, but maybe if Kyle Lowry gets his self in shape, I mean, that should be a formidable lineup for you. As it's great for Miami, but I
yeah.
just don't understand. Like, you like Tyler Hero like that if you Utah? I mean, because he ain't making a lot of money. He's getting ready to come up on a contract, and kind of, let's just be real. All of these dudes that come up on these contracts, what they getting like 30 million, right? That's just kind of it seems like what the going rate is in the NBA if you any kind of decent player. So you're gonna pay Tyler Hero $30 million a year, and you just had Donovan Mitchell, who is at a 30 plus but a better player. Just keep Donovan Mitchell. What is Mitchell, like 25, 26? He's young still, isn't he?
Yeah, he's still a young guy. Yeah.
So I would you're gonna keep going, I know. Give me some other scenario or trade options if I'm Utah.
Well,
But great for my team.
I'm gonna just give you one more location.
Okay.
Not 100% certain on the layout of it, but let's just say Dallas. Okay, and the reason why I'm saying Dallas is because I'm kind of put on the spot here, but also, um,
It's okay.
but the other night it was, I brought up Kyrie Irving, right, pairing up with Luka. So maybe a Donovan Mitchell and a Luka, that makes up for the size right there. You have Luka, you have Mitchell. Maybe something like that could work. What do you think about Mitchell landing in Dallas some kind of way? And it probably would have to include another team, but what do you think about that? They might be able to send Finney Smith over or, and another player as well, but maybe a
Well,
Hardaway Jr., you know what I'm saying? And,
if
and,
if
and
I'm
how do you think
Donovan,
that would turn out?
if I'm Donovan Mitchell, I don't want to play with Luca. I'm not playing with Luca. I'm not playing with Trey Young if I'm Donovan Mitchell. And that's just, I'm not playing with anybody that is a quote unquote ball stopper slash high usage rate. Like with Jimmy Butler, Jimmy Butler, they move the ball in Miami. They don't really have any high usage rate guys, at least not on purpose. The Knicks, there are no guys. Brunson is used not to having the ball in his hand. I wouldn't want to. As I said, if I'm Mitchell, I wouldn't want to go from being in Utah. I have the ball in my hand all the time. I'm the guy on this team. I make decisions or whatever. And now you sending me to play with Luca, and I got to watch Luca do whatever. Now, for Dallas, it would be good. I'm not sure what Utah gets back, so I think we're in that scenario again where Utah doesn't get much back. But I think on this one, I I would like to believe Mitchell is probably going to be the ball stopper because guys like getting their numbers. Uh, Different sport, but Jermaine Burton, wide receiver for Georgia, transferred from Georgia to Alabama. And the simple answer is he transferred because he wanted to get his numbers from a quarterback that could get him the ball and put him in a better position to get to the NFL. I think Donovan Mitchell, like you put up that 50-point stat. I'm gonna guess, and you know, guys have egos. You play with dudes. He wants to get his shots. Now, I guess if you think Luka will distribute the ball and keep Donovan Mitchell happy, then I think it would work. But they don't seem like a good fit.
Well, you know, it gives you scoring. It gives you that. Definitely gives you a legitimate second score / first score. You know, we saw what Mitchell did when he was the main guy. I think that would kind of add to Dallas, you know, if they could do that. But still going to have issues defensively. I still don't feel like Dallas would be a finals team. I'm trying to go through my head. I'm wondering if they picked up JaVale McGee. So if they picked up JaVale McGee, that gives them somebody on the front court to go along with the Luka, you know, Luka and Mitchell as their main scorers. They definitely don't have to worry about whatever points they are going to lose from losing Tim Hardaway. Finney Smith, even though he was a good glue guy, you know, you can't really, you know, you ain't gonna really count on him. So
I understand.
I mean, I can see Dallas, you know, if they could figure out a way to get him, that'll be probably good for the Dallas area, you know what I'm saying, to get somebody at the level of a Mitchell right now. But, you know, that's about it, you know, for me. Here's one more scenario, Zach, before we get out of here. This has the players right here that are, you know, out there on the board. I don't know if there's a way to shuffle, you know, these players around, but if there was a way to shuffle these guys around, then maybe, you know, Mitchell ends up somewhere, let's say Brooklyn. You know what I mean? If there was some kind of way to make some kind of shuffle out of these gentlemen here, because we feel like Aiton's out, you know, out the door. I think Phoenix. I think me and you agree. Phoenix is pushing him out of there, but maybe there's a way to get Mitchell over there to Brooklyn some kind of way. Do you think the Nets would take him?
I think if I'm the Brooklyn Nets and I have Kyrie Irving, Ben Simmons, and Kevin Durant, I'm open for business. And I want to still be a viable team. If Donovan Mitchell wants to go to the New York area, why wouldn't he come to me? Look, if he was happy in Utah, he'll be happy with us. I got 3 dudes. Which dude can I send? And really, I should say I got 2. You talk about picks. I sent Kyrie Irving to Salt Lake for a year. He probably doesn't play, but I can give them a lot of picks. But more so, I think Ben Simmons would be the guy to throw in there. And look, not that they probably want this. Golden State, like teams with assets and young players, if you're just trying to give away, quote unquote, say young players or whatever, or not have them, or even old quality players, you should be looking at. But if you were to tell me, and let's just go with somehow it ends up with Kevin Durant and Donovan Mitchell in Brooklyn, that's not the worst thing in the world.
No, not at all.
Like if I'm Brooklyn, I could live with that. Or if you tell me I'm Brooklyn and I end up with DeAndre Ayton and Donovan Mitchell somehow, I'm good with that too. But they should be, however they would work it, yes. And I know you were doing the thing. They got 3 dudes that people should want. Or if I end up with Donovan Mitchell and Ben Simmons, like Donovan Mitchell is good no matter what the Nets do.
Yeah.
And I would say he's a good culture guy, or at least so far it seemed that way.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, all right, man. Well, we'll see how it all, ends up. It may not be no time soon.
Oh,
It
hold
could
on.
be just like,
We didn't say it. The Lakers, your Lakers can't be in on this.
I mean, Zach, you know how that works. Everybody who's on the rumor board is a Laker. I saw a ton of Zach Levine, you know, rumors about him being a Laker. And I know there's people that want him to be a Laker. And there's a lot of Laker fans that I know that want him to be one. But at the end of the day, matter of fact, I just found this out today. Zach Levine, he only talked to the Bulls. And all along he wanted to be a Bull.
Yeah.
And he
or
want
or
he
he
want
wanted all
that
that
Bulls
money.
payday. Yeah.
Yes.
So, at the end, man, I don't see Mitchell being a Laker. I mean, look, you talking to somebody who's heard that Damian Lillard wanted to be a Laker. Remember that? He went to the NBA game and all that kind of stuff, and he was gonna be a Laker. And then the Kyrie thing, and then before that, it was who was the other? It was another guard before that. It was
Bradley
always
Beal.
somebody, huh?
Bradley Beal.
Well, yeah, throw him in there too, Bradley Beal. So it's always somebody. Oh, they're gonna be a Laker, you know. And I don't think that's gonna happen. I don't see where the Lakers can help Utah, especially where the point that Utah's at right now. I mean, unless you're gonna say, "Oh, we'll send you Anthony Davis," you know what I'm saying? Like, and then I don't see the Lakers saying, "Yeah, we'll send you Anthony Davis," and in return we get Donovan Mitchell. So I don't see where that's working because it's not going to work in reference to picks because the Lakers don't have nearly the number of picks like teams like the Knicks and other teams may have. So don't see that happening.
Okay. But before you close this out, why wouldn't a team like the Bucks try and get on Mitchell? If Mitchell
Hey
is a
man,
good player, or I'm trying to think of some of the other middle tier, like Cleveland Cavaliers.
hey,
I know they have who they have, Garland or whatever, and they just
they got
re-signed him.
Sexton. They could
Uh,
probably do a Sexton for Mitchell type thing, and now Utah does have a young guy. That's not a bad one right there, Zach.
well, I'm just saying some of these teams that maybe low first round play in or whatever,
Yeah,
trying to maybe get to the next level, and
yeah,
especially and we go with these like a guy like him, uh, the Lakers, whether they get him or not, are going to be fine because they going to be able to get free agents. You would think Miami's going to be able to get free agents. They proved that. The Knicks should be able to, but these teams that it well, like just real like San Antonio. I don't know if I don't know what they have to offer for him, and they just got rid of the guy. But
yeah,
somebody like San Antonio or OKC, and I know OKC is trying to collect assets, but those are the teams like Sacramento, teams where ain't nobody ever gonna want to go sign with you because of what we said. A dude just spent his career in Utah. He's somebody that might like going to a place like that before he actually gets to the good life.
hey man, not a bad idea. I like that Cleveland one a lot. Um, Cleveland
I
needs
mean,
to they need to make a decision on
because
Sexton. And hey, they have Garland, so that's another good guard. So they have themselves. They're in a good guard situation. So add Mitchell to that, and
they got
now you cooking.
Mobley.
They got young
Uh,
bigs.
who's
They got
the
the guy Allen.
yes,
They got
Allen.
Allen.
So you
Yeah,
wait, Allen, Mobley, Garland,
Ricky
and
Rubio.
and Rubio be a good guy in your guard rotation, and Mitchell. I mean,
Yeah,
second round, maybe conference finals type team if
they
things break right for you.
you could be a top four team in the East with that. They could be. That's talented team, well coached. The fan base is solid. You know what I'm saying? They show up for Cavs games.
And
And they're looking
and
for something. They're looking for another change. They need some promise there. So hey, why not?
and and I know I said if I was Mitchell, I would want to do it, but our home team, like Atlanta could. I don't know how it will work, but Mitchell and Young, Atlanta has some assets. Who's the power
Yeah,
forward that I always
they got
bring up every time? Like you always want to get rid of
Collins.
Capella. I'm always trying to get rid of Collins because of his
Yeah,
unhappiness with Young. But maybe ship him off.
yeah. I guess,
I
and then And then the shooting guard that just came in from the Spurs, I guess he can be he's got enough height on him. I guess you can have a
Oh, I
three
forgot
guard
about.
rotation.
Oh, I forgot they got him.
But they
Ah,
still go three guards. I mean, it's not like this is the NBA is the land of the giants. You know what I mean? The finals.
true.
I don't remember a 7-footer in the NBA finals this year.
You would be correct.
Yeah, so hey,
It's the
so
6 foot and under league now.
yeah, yeah. So I guess Bill Russell would be able to play in this era, but
He might be all right.
yeah,
He might make it.
yeah, but yeah, those are some good landing spots. I like the Cleveland one, man. We'll have to clip that one and put that on our commercial, man.
Well, and I don't even know what the Kings have to offer, but like Sacramento, it if if they could package something for it, which they gave up Halliburton, so that was their real chip. But they need to try and get in on this stuff because other than that, they not getting no free agent. Ain't nobody trying to go to Sacramento.
Yeah, well, that's a good point. But I guess we'll see, Zach.
Yes, we will.
Yep. But look, before we get out of here, man, everybody, please do the following.
Yes, please do. I'm glad that brought a smile to your face.
Yes, yes, yes. We love it when the numbers go up. And so continue to check us out. We just want to chop it up for a few. But that was it. We'll be back for our regular scheduled programming. And who knows what we're gonna talk about next. The sports world right now is crazy. Everything's happening. So, Kevin Durant may be in a new place by next time we're on here. Mitchell might be in a new place. So stay tuned with us. Stay tuned with the Sports
Oh,
Brothers.
who gets moved first, Mitchell or Durant?
Durant.
I kind of believe Mitchell will, but we'll see. And I'm going to give you credit. Congrats to your Mets for taking the series against my Braves 2-1 in Atlanta. So I believe the lead should probably be, what is it? 3
Maybe
games
two and a
now.
half. I guess.
I like to go lost column. I think it's probably 3 in the lost column, maybe 4.
Okay. All right. Well, we appreciate that, Zach. I mean, that's the least we can get right now as a series victory.
Well, you can't win the World Series right now. All you can do is put yourself in position to do it.
All right. All right. Look at that. We slipped a little baseball talk in there too before we got out of here.
We did. Never mind. Never mind.
All right. Well, you go ahead and set up start working on the plans for our Sports Brothers Panty Platter Bash, and
I will not.
And I'll catch you.
I'm not allowed to go.
Oh well. All right. Well, he's Zach. I'm Mr. 411. We're the Sports Brothers. We'll catch y'all soon.
Have a good one. Thank you.